Hello, welcome back to the Code Red book blog. And as it happens, this is the last blog for the book 3D Game Engine Programming. The last chapter has been read, the code has been written, and here I am to share it back with you. This last topic that the book covers is scene management, the process of storing and displaying collections of polygons to form the terrain, structures, objects, and people that collectively make up a game map. This polygon data will also need to be used for collision detection so that the game knows when a player or object has struck one of the surfaces in the level. And mainly the process of scene management involves splitting up a level's data into smaller, more manageable chunks that can be loaded and unloaded as necessary. For instance, it's not really needed to display or calculate shadows and physics for a room that's 3 hallways away from the player's current location. So we decide not to load the chunk that includes that room because the player can't see it anyway. So in the book, the main things that were covered were the theory and the implementation of a couple basic scene management algorithms: octrees, binary space partitioning trees, and portal engines. These technologies were developed early on in PC game history. BSP trees, for instance, were a major achievement for the original Doom games, while portal engines were a notable addition made by the Duke Nukem 3D team. This does make me a little concerned, of course, that the information in the book is outdated. Even at the time of the book, for instance, binary space partitioning trees were becoming outdated. But on the other hand, based on some of the things I've heard in commentaries on certain games like Portal 2, I suspect that some of the technologies like portal engines are still around and just simply more refined than they used to be. Nonetheless, the theoretical explanation of these algorithms offers a great jumping off point for further study of more modern techniques. So really, that's what I'm planning to use scene management for, and it's a really representative example of the book as a whole. I think a lot of the actual code and implementation is probably quite outdated, but it still offers up a lot of great conceptual work and architectural points for making more modern games. And so that's really it. The engine prototype is more or less done. There's a couple chapters of the book dedicated to implementing a level editor and a simple first-person shooter game. So really, if you're going to get this book, I wouldn't necessarily worry about taking the time to get the demonstrations and the code up and running. It might be just a better read for a conceptual level before moving on to things like Game Engine Architecture by Jason Gregory. So that's it for my live blogging of the engine prototype laid out in 3D Game Engine Programming. And now that my journey through this book is done, I'll be taking a bit of a hiatus to focus on some important developments in my personal life. But after that, I'll be back. I want to thank all of you, the viewers and the readers who have been following me as I learn more about game creation. I honestly do appreciate it, and I look forward to giving you faster, better, and more relevant content once I'm back from my break. Until then, keep watching, keep learning, and don't forget to keep creating.